Hello and welcome to Building a Unity Game Step 1, Dr. Game Dev's Tutorials. Let's start with a basic Unity project. So let's give it a name, Unity Step 1. So this is a 3D project, and what we're going to do in this project is somehow use the camera to follow the player. So we give it a location, and that's it. So now we have the project in front of us, and as we can see, this is we have to give a small plane. So we added a plane. If this plane was not on its location, then we would give it 0 0 0 by doing a reset, but right now it is there. Let's move the directional light a little bit, although it does not really matter. As you can see, when I move the directional light, nothing really changes. So it's like the sun. So the camera preview is showing the directional light as well. Okay, so let's see, let's move it so that our camera is located in a nice place. So first we can move, we can scale the plane. This can also be done inside the editor or using the inspector. Let's give it a nice number. Let's also move the camera here because we moved already. Now we are seeing the sides of our field, so let's change the plane here. Click F because we want to focus. Okay, so let's expand it using the tool. Okay, we scale it. So now this looks interesting. Okay, let's create a cube. You can see the cube is really far off, so I really can't see it in the camera. So let's move it by doing a reset. It's there, but it's stuck in the ground. So move it a little bit up. It's still flying in the air, so we need to adjust it. This is going to be our obstacle. Okay, so what did I do wrong? Okay, here we go. Okay, so what do we do next? Let's do a Control D to duplicate this cube and place the other one somewhere else. Now, one thing we can do is we don't have to make duplicates of the same cube. How about let's make the original one an obstacle and try to do something interesting. So we create a folder for something called prefabs. Prefabs is a concept that is nice to have, so we can use objects. Let's move simply by moving it to that folder, and it's turned into blue because it's now a prefab. That means we can make copies of it and they are all linked together. So let's make copies of the prefab. Okay, we can also make copies by dragging and dropping, and we really don't have to call them different names. We can call them different names, but they're both fine. Now let's create an object, an empty game object, just to organize these prefabs. Let's call it obstacles. And let's drag them all here. So now they are nice and neat. Okay. So let's organize our obstacles. Okay, move them nice. So we can also look at it from the top and then organize things. There's so many different ways to do this in Unity. Okay, so I think we're done here. So now let's start with, okay, what I'm doing is I'm using the Alt key and the mouse button, left mouse button, to rotate around. Okay, so let's add a code here. This is with our camera, and let's say let's call it move or move camera, or okay, let's just call it move for now. Okay, this is the script, C# script, which is going to move our player or camera in either case. Okay, so now let's see. This move script is now standing in assets folder. It's not nice, so let's move to a new folder called scripts. Okay, I just did that. Okay, and it will show up once I click here. Okay, let's see. So, and also we have the prefabs. I didn't lose them, which is good. It would have been awful if I had lost them, but now we can open this. Okay, so what do we want to do next? Let's make a capsule. This will be our player. Okay, see, this is in a weird location. It is stuck in the ground, so okay, we can move it up and down, which is nice, or it can fly in there, but you know, anything which goes with our game. So let's move it closer to the camera, and thinking of this, we can actually have this guy connect with the camera. So by making the camera a child object, and let's see what happens due to this. So if I now move the capsule, the camera is following the player. So it's like an actual child, or actually child who actually listens to the parent, so which can be a rare experience. But okay, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to make the camera my eye. So I'm just you know, going to make this a first person controller. So let's see. Okay, okay, so now what happens if I move right now? I am actually above the ground, so I am so really not interested in those obstacles. That I think we need to come down to earth a little bit. So okay, now let's see what happens. Okay, this looks much better. Okay, so what next? Okay, let's call it a player, because the capsule is a player. Capsule is, you know, yeah, if this was an alien, aliens would look like capsules. So this would be interesting. Now there's a move script which we just added to the camera. That doesn't really make sense. Let's remove it. Yeah, you can do that as well. So let's remove that script. Okay, so let's add the same script. Yeah, it's still here, so that's good. Okay, now we are in the Visual Studio, and I wrote one line here. I don't know if I'll use it, but let's see for now. So we want to add transform.translate, and we want to move forward. Let's see how we can do that. So it's vector3.forward. Let's see if that works. So let's hit play. Okay, and wow, so we're like a missile. So this is not really what I was expecting. This was very fast because well, yeah, high FPS. Okay, let's add a field. It's a private variable, and it's float speed, and we can multiply it by speed. Okay, Visual Studio just did something over here, so let's just delete it. Yeah, that's not as I actually need the speed, so we have to give some value to the speed. How about we give it 10 float. Okay, let's see what happens. How does this work? Okay, let's click on play and see how it goes. This value is here now. Okay, let's see. Okay, this is even faster than what we were expecting. So yeah, so let's change it to smaller value. Okay, this is actually pretty cool, but it's on my machine, so somehow I have to ensure that this works same on different machines. So to do that, there's a standard practice, and we just multiply it by something called time dot delta time. Okay, let's see now how it goes. So let's give it 10 again, and this is a reasonable speed. Okay, so what more can we do? So if I use the up arrow key, and let's see if that key is going to move it just one step at a time. You know, in some games we want to do that, so let's see. So now we have this interesting jumping every time we click, and you know, save it over there. Okay, so let's see what happens right now with obstacles. So we're moving forward. Let's see our interaction with obstacle. So our capsule moves actually through the obstacle. This is not what I was expecting. The obstacle is supposed to stop me somehow. So let's go over here in the prefab, and let's open that. What we need here is something called a rigid bodied component. That means now we have you know, it's going to, I hope at least it's going to stop me. Okay, so we also need to do that for our player. So okay, because we're still passing through. Yeah, okay, so we go here, another rigid body. Now let's see what happens. Okay, we're going there, and actually this looks as if we're passing through, but this is not the case. What really happens is, let's look at it from another view. Okay, and okay, we just fell down nicely. This is actually quite nice. So you can see the sky looks really nice. So let's look at it again. Yeah, this I can see. Look at this forever. Okay, yeah, this is interesting. See, this actually behaves like a rigid body. Okay, so what do we do next? Now I want to show you how you can change the tint here. So let's change it to blue or green. You know, so when we're clicking play, I want the color to change. So this is just that. Oh yeah, and friends, this is nice. So the entire window changes. Now let's make this a little bit more interesting. Yeah, we want to actually do something creative here. So the idea is, let's add some variables. Okay, want to have turn speed. We want to turn around, look left or right, and how can we do that? So let's have a turn speed, and let's give it 45.0f, and float is now 10.20. Let's see the speed. And in update, let's see what we can do here. But before that, just to see what happens or not, we can just create a private float for input. So we've got a horizontal input and we've got a vertical input. What would you call it? Okay, forward input. Okay, so forward will move forward using the arrow key, and horizontal would turn us around. So okay, horizontal input. So to input dot this is another method called get access, and we want to now, interestingly, the horizontal input does take the horizontal axis, and the vertical, okay, that's actually the forward input. This is input dot get access, and it's actually the vertical axis that we want to talk about because we're using the forward key. Okay, so for the next step, we want to change the transform dot translate. That is there. So we've got the forward, that's fine. Speed and time dot delta time. What is missing here? Okay, yeah, the input, how much input we're giving here. So let's give the forward input here. Transform dot translate. No, extra. Okay, this is the weird auto complete. I think, okay, we've already done translate. I think I'm doing it incorrectly. So let's do a rotate because we want to rotate with the input vector 3 dot up because we want to rotate around the y-axis. And that's what do we do here? The turn speed that we just declared at top, and multiply it by the horizontal input and the time dot delta time. So let's go into our code and see if it works, and it doesn't. Why is that so? Okay, yeah, we do crash into things. That's another thing that we need to fix. So we just to see what happened, we are lying there on the ground. Somehow we do like the ground a lot. So let's see here. See the issue here. So when it goes forward, and yes, this is the issue. It likes to look on the sky. So the issue is that it's a serialized field and we didn't give it a good value. So now we've got a turn speed. So we're going hopefully, yeah, we can turn left or right. This is nice. Yeah. Oh, okay. But we still like to roll on the ground. So, yeah, this player really likes to roll on the ground. Okay, so can we stop that somehow? So to do that, I think we can go in constraints and we don't want to really move on the rotate on the x and z axis because y is the only axis we want to look. So we're going to look to the left, we want to look to the right, but we really do not want to do anything else. So we constraint over there. So let's see what happens now. Yeah, we can look left, right, and yeah, that's it. We can do that, but yeah, now we're rotating. Yeah, okay. Yeah, continuously. This is fun. Okay. Okay, so let's do a recap. What we've done right now is essentially we've looked at the basics of creating a Unity 3D project. We've added a plane, we've added some obstacles, and we added a player It's like a first-person controller. We were able to use input to move it through our landscape, and we did some nice collisions with obstacles, and most importantly we started to learn how to roll on the ground and look at the sky. So we also constrained the motion of the player, and we created some things called prefabs. So we've covered a lot of ground in our first video. Let's see how it goes, and we'll learn different concepts in the next videos. Okay, take care and bye bye for now.